and welcome to our 2020 Together We Thrive Gala. I'm Mitzi Ambrose Washington, Chair of the Board of Directors for the Guidance Center of Westchester, and I'm delighted that you are joining us for our very first virtual gala. It's no secret that 2020 has been a year like no other. To call it a challenge is an understatement. That is why we are so humbled and grateful that you are joining us here tonight, online, to celebrate the amazing work done by the Guidance Center of Westchester, its amazing staff, and the program participants who, despite COVID-19, continue to learn, work, and thrive. Back in March, when New York State began the Great Pause, the Guidance Center of Westchester shifted into overdrive. As the board chair, I saw firsthand how committed the staff was to ensuring that the vulnerable members of our community who rely on the Guidance Center would continue to receive the treatment, therapies, and support they so desperately need. We saw more people turning to us for mental health and substance use services, and we were able to help regardless of a person's ability to pay. Tonight, you're going to hear about some of the heroic efforts put forth by the staff. You'll learn about how the agency quickly adapted to new ways to provide services and how many staff members suited up in PPE and continue to treat participants in person. You will see why the Board of Directors decided that for this year's virtual gala, we would celebrate the work being done by the amazing staff of TGCW. Each year, more than 5,000 people rely on the Guidance Center of Westchester, and pandemic or not, and 2020 has been no exception. That is why your support here tonight is vital. The gala raises the largest amount of unrestricted funds for the agency, funds which are even more important as we face new obstacles presented by our changing paradigm. Again, thank you for joining us and for showing our staff how much you appreciate their commitment to helping Westchester thrive.
Hi, I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive, and we just want to congratulate the Guidance Center of Westchester for celebrating a virtual Together We Thrive Gala here in September. This is not the way we planned to have this gala, and we hope that by next year we'll all be together in person to raise money and to celebrate the fine work that's been done by the staff and all of the people associated with the Guidance Center. The work that the Guidance Center does is critical, and that work is even more important during the age of COVID, when people are sequestered at home and dealing with a completely different structure to society. But we appreciate the work of the center. We hope that tonight's event will be very valuable for everybody who participates, and we hope it'll raise valuable money so that the organization can continue on its mission. Congratulations. Have a wonderful virtual event, and again, we'll see you next year in person.
Hi, this is Mayor Sean Patterson Howard, and I wanted to say congratulations to the Guidance Center of Westchester. The Guidance Center of Westchester has been an incredible partner to the city of Mount Vernon, especially during these times of COVID. The Guidance Center of Westchester did not close their doors for 1 minute. They continue to provide much needed services to those in our community who are very vulnerable, the homeless and the mentally ill. The staff of the Guidance Center stayed on the streets and stayed in contact with people who needed their medication, and we needed to make sure that they were safe on the streets and find different ways to house them temporarily or permanently. So thank you for continuing to run all of your programs. Thank you for being an incredible partner. Thank you every day for showing your commitment, your dedication, and your authenticity and your desire to serve the residents of Mount Vernon and the surrounding communities. And on this, the occasion of your virtual gala, I want to just say we celebrate you, we celebrate your efforts, and we look forward to working with you in the future to continue to serve our vulnerable residents and to help those who are seeking gainful employment to receive the training they need to get back into the workforce. Take care and enjoy.
It's a great pleasure to extend virtual greetings to all who are participating in this gala, and more importantly, to express thanks to the entire team at the Guidance Center for your extraordinary work. Your efforts are vital under the best of circumstances, but never more so than throughout this COVID crisis, as so many families have faced intensified pressures. And so what you have done to help people overcome opioid addiction, to ensure that mental health care services are available, to provide child care to families in crisis. All of those efforts have made a critical difference to so many residents of New Rochelle and our entire region. And it's in that spirit, on behalf of the people of New Rochelle, that I express my gratitude.
Thank you to our Westchester leaders for your heartfelt thoughts. We are grateful for your participation tonight. As the person who supervises most of the clinical teams, I am astounded and inspired by the incredible devotion and support that our staff have provided to our participants despite this pandemic. I'm also proud of our participants who keep working hard and using their skills as they strive towards reaching their wellness and recovery goals. Even in ordinary times, this can be a tough haul. In the pandemic, our participants really showed us amazing strength and perseverance. As our night progresses, you will hear from members of our TGCW family, including our frontline staff and participants. You will also hear from some celebrities regarding their thoughts on our work.
Throughout tonight's presentation, you will see opportunity to donate, and I hope you can give to our mission drive. We have received much generous support, but want to keep going. This is your time to give. If you haven't already given, please do so now.
Hi, my name is Ron. I'm a participant at the Guidance Center of Westchester. They've been with me for about 1.5 years now, and I've come a long way. They helped me get housing. They helped me with my resume. They helped me with my medicine, which is more important, because in my early adulthood I was diagnosed bipolar. So I finally found a team and a medicine that works for me, and I've been a success story ever since, and I'm very grateful for it, because I was in a real bad place, and when I reminisce on those thoughts on the bad place that I was in and where I am now, every step that I took was worth it getting here. And Sheree's been working with me for about 1.5 years now. She can tell you that I've improved so much since the beginning when I first started, because I was just so very angry. I had so much animosity, I had so much negative thoughts. And being part of the Guidance Center of the Westchester has been a blessing, because it really changed my life. I mean, I have my own apartment now. My mental health is under control. I mean, and I'm still learning to branch out to other things, like becoming an adult, being a grown-up, finding love, having friends, and having good company. And I think that's what matters most.
Hello, my name is Sheree Black. I am the Acting Program Director here at the Guidance Center of Westchester. Throughout the last couple of months, starting in March, my team and I have been out in the community, meeting our participants. You just heard from Ronald. We continue to meet participants just like him wherever they're at. It could be in the shelter, it could be on the road, it could be by the train tracks. Wherever you are, that's where we've been meeting the participants. We've been out there, myself, the team, visiting clients face to face, also having telehealth sessions. We have been able to provide clients with food, those who are in need of food, more importantly, medication management, shelter if they're looking for it to be placed in a shelter. We go out to see the clients in our full PPE gears. We wear our gowns, our mask, our face shield. We've been doing as much as we can to make sure that this stressful time is not as, it could be, it's a lot for the staff, so you can imagine the participants who are living through this time of not knowing whether or not, they can or did or have caught COVID-19. I remember one time having to visit Ronald at a hotel, because when you're in the shelter system, if the shelter feels like you've been exposed or may be testing positive for COVID, they have to isolate you at a different hotel. And I've had to meet him there to provide him with his medication. I wasn't able to meet with him face to face, but you know, it speaks to the work that we do here, that we continue to do, where we're meeting the clients wherever they're at, regardless of the circumstances. And I must say the team has been doing an awesome job at doing that. Our doctor, our psychiatrist, she goes out every day. Our nurse, she's been going out. And we're just here, we're doing our best, and we're going to continue doing what we can to service the participants. To text in your pledge, as you'll see on the image on the screen, send to the number 970-840-9000. In the message, write TGCW, a space, the amount, a space, and your name. Or if you'd like to remain anonymous, you can leave that blank. Once again, that's TGCW, a space, the amount, a space, and your name. Or if you'd like to remain anonymous, you can leave that blank.
Hi. The impact of COVID continues to be felt across our nation and around the world. It has in many ways impacted those living at or below the poverty line in a much more stark and dramatic fashion. I'm not just talking about in countries around the world, but right here in the USA, in New York, and in Westchester County. I think that education is one of the keys to lifting people from poverty. And while COVID shut down our schools, the Guidance Center of Westchester's educational programs kept moving forward with passion, creativity, and kindness. Your child care center never closed, which was a true relief to parents who were first responders. Preschool teachers made clever and fun YouTube videos. Staff demonstrated that learning is more than lessons, it's about the family. Those daily check-ins and parenting tips were priceless, as were the meals that you ensured were delivered to those in need. The middle and high school students who take part in your Rebound program continued to receive mental health and substance use counseling, along with educational support they need. You never gave up on these young people, and the Center for College and Careers continued to keep young adults engaged. Your efforts to keep them focused on their goals, maybe that was earning their GED or finding a job, are nothing short of remarkable. I know I'm just scratching the surface of all that the Guidance Center of Westchester did and continues to do to help those in need. So as we move forward, the effort you made to keep people learning will be invaluable. From the bottom of my heart, thank you all for what you do. Together, we thrive.
Throughout the pandemic, we found creative ways to support and serve our families. One of the ways was to ensure that families had the necessary resources to complete the virtual learning portions in their home, as well as creating a lunch program to provide meals for all family members throughout the pandemic. We also connected our families to resources throughout the community, such as the Sharing Shelf and Kids Closet, to get new and gently used clothes to children in need.
We have been open throughout the pandemic. We are a daycare for essential workers, which has been extremely helpful. We also the teachers have been working from home remotely and here, coming in and working from home. And we have been so dedicated to our students. I love that I get up in the morning and I get to come here and play with these children.
During COVID, it was very hard, very complicated. It was a new way of life. We took a lot of precautions as far as deep cleaning and just a new way of life. When you're at home, I know it's complicated for a lot of parents out there to kind of educate their children and at the same time maintain a sturdy household. So when it came to us teachers, we took a higher role, a more in-depth role, you can say. So we opened up a YouTube channel. On that YouTube channel, you can find a whole lot of things from letters of the week to at-home activities, making stuff like excavators. But during this time, you know, it's very important that kids continue to learn education and they're not just staying at home lollygagging in their toys, I would say.
During the course of the pandemic, where there was uncertainty and where there was no understanding of how everything would fit within the scheme of things, Margaret didn't miss a beat. The Guidance Center didn't miss a beat. And when I say both Margaret and the Guidance Center, meaning they were totally of a thorough understanding that we were basically under quarantine and isolation measures, and therefore some of us, meaning myself personally, I can't speak for everybody else, we had difficulty getting to the supermarket, or we may have difficulty obtaining food rations. And Margaret, as well as the Guidance Center, went out of their way to make certain that pantry items, as well as other goods, were delivered to our homes, or delivered to my home, I could say, definitely. And I was very surprised at that because I wasn't expecting that. It was like the Guidance Center and Margaret were angels in disguise, and I really appreciate that. And whatever it is that the Guidance Center basically participates in or follows through with, I'm behind them 100% because they've been there for me without me even asking or questioning it. And that's comforting to know that at night you have an organization that's behind you that understands what your needs or anticipates what your needs may be, and they act upon them without question.
During the pandemic, we had a participant in our leasing program who developed COVID-19 while being in remission from a life-threatening medical issue. He ran out of money, ran out of food. So our team worked with other providers in getting gift cards, and our staff went and shopped at the local supermarket and brought the groceries to his apartment using physical distancing. And we were able to get him fed and set up with his medical doctor for appropriate medical treatment. And today our participant is COVID-free, living and doing well.
When the COVID-19 started, the Guidance Center was never stopped working for their clients. They will call on the phone and they will ask how you are. And they have a thing called Zoom that you could go to classes on Zoom. And I take classes 3 days a week over the phone on Zoom. I take anger management. I take the words we choose, how to manage emotions, how to avoid conflict, and that's it.
American Ninja Warrior is all about overcoming obstacles, whether they're physical obstacles like the mega wall or the power tower, or psychological obstacles.
Yeah, that's right. COVID-19 has forced all of us to dig deep, like our warriors, and find strength and power within ourselves. These unprecedented times have made champions of many, like our friends at the Guidance Center of Westchester.
Throughout COVID-19, staff at the Guidance Center of Westchester never stopped working. But these people aren't emergency room doctors or nurses or EMTs. They're social workers, psychologists and psychiatrists, child care workers, homeless outreach workers, mental health and substance abuse counselors.
Yes, they are the unsung warriors of the front lines. Because of their efforts, people who are living with addiction and mental illness continue to receive vital services and the support they need.
They help people manage their anxiety. They help people stay away from drugs and alcohol, even when drug abuse rates were rising. Most importantly, they made sure that some of the most vulnerable members of our community were cared for and supported.
They are certainly among the less talked about frontline essential workers in this pandemic. On behalf of all of us at American Ninja Warrior, thank you for all you did and continue to do. In your honor, we hit the buzzer.
I hope that you are enjoying hearing from members of our TGCW family. Now we're hoping you can join in and support us. Here are instructions on how to text to give. So please donate generously so that we can make our goal tonight. Whether you donate $5,000 for our preschool art programs, for our special needs children to help them develop creative thinking skills, or $2,500 for basic furniture to help formerly homeless people move into their apartments, or $150 towards cell phones for telehealth. All donations will enable us to keep our participants healthy and moving forward during this pandemic. Thank you.
During COVID-19, the CCC has not stopped working. Some days we would come in, most days we would work remotely. So just to give you a little background, I work with about 60 youth, and during COVID-19 unprecedented times, we were tasked with the, kind of just keeping youth engaged, because we have a HSE program, or high school equivalency program, here at the Guidance Center, but due to COVID, it shut down. So myself and the GED instructor came up with a one-pager of academic work just to keep our participants engaged, and I would do weekly check-ins with the participants as well as Zoom meetings. One thing that I could definitely say was the highlight of this time was that I conducted a vocational workshop with some of the participants. It was very well attended and they had questions, and we also were able to distribute Chromebooks to 20 CCC participants who do not have access to computers in order to do educational, employment, and vocational trainings.
Hello, my name is Alexis Lloyd. I'm a participant at the Center for College and Careers. March 2020, I completed the FutureWorks program for construction training, where I received 8 certifications. During my training at FutureWorks, I mentioned to Enrica that I would love to be a part of her team. I just never knew that there was a free, life-changing opportunity located right in my community. April 2020 is when I got to start my first work experience at the Guidance Center as a security guard. Due to COVID, I didn't get to interact with many clients. However, the transition from student to employee felt great. Currently, I'm working for the Murphy Brothers Contracting as an administrator, a company I went to visit with the FutureWorks during my training. I absolutely love my job, and I am very thankful for WIOA and the FutureWorks for believing in me and always pushing me to be my best.
I oversee the Nourishell Clinic, which is located near New Rock City. And I also oversee the Yonkers Probation Mental Health Clinic. And basically at the Nourishell Clinic, we help everybody who has mental health and substance use issues, along with basically anything else they bring to us. But we're definitely there for them. We have a wonderful team of clinicians and psychiatrists. So you're able to get individual therapy, group therapy, family sessions, couples therapy, and medication management.
And I'm the administrative assistant for mental health. And just want to say that the mental health department has been moving right along. We have not stopped seeing clients, even though we couldn't have them come in the office. We've been doing teletherapy, and it's been going very well. We just know that mental health is very important right now, and so we have been open and seeking clients to see what they need and providing their needs.
The Methadone Clinic is here to service the needs of heroin addicts. The goal of methadone maintenance is to help people stop using heroin, start functioning in the community again, taking care of their family, obtaining and keeping their jobs, being concerned about their work and get some vocational training. We have people who are nurses and lawyers and work in construction, have their own businesses, a variety of highly functioning people. From early March, when COVID became a concern, particularly in New Rochelle, where the first New York State epicenter of COVID was identified, that week we started implementing all of our safety procedures before the state even gave us guidelines. we have never closed down and closed our doors to services. Methadone is an essential service. Methadone treatment is an essential service.
I joined the methadone clinic because I was dealing with a severe addiction to heroin and other opiates. And I'm here to say, like, if you're really addicted to heroin or other opiates, it's a great place to be. You don't have to be on it for the rest of your life. It's just to help you with the withdrawals, and then you slowly wean yourself off. You could live a normal life, do the things you love, and that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Pandemic is like anything we've ever experienced, and not just for us in the hospital, but for you at the Guidance Center of Westchester. And for everyone involved, we're all caring for people, and it's really an extraordinary time and extraordinary people.
As I said in the trailer, it's humanity of the patient that matters, and I think that was really emblematic of when we were going through COVID. And we were all dealing with some of the emotional and medical issues that our patients were facing, and you did the same. You were there for them, and when they needed to unburden themselves, and it was a lot to handle, and I'm sure that you had a very similar experience that we did in a totally different way.
And I think dealing with other people's trauma is obviously challenging. It's challenging for us. It's challenging for you guys, but you remain strong, and you keep doing it no matter how difficult it is, and that's what we do as professionals, and that's what you guys do as professionals too.
And John and I both know that mental health and addiction and child issues, these are all at-risk youth. That's what the Guidance Center of Westchester is about. You continue to provide treatment to these and services to this vulnerable population. And I know when I speak for our department and for Dr. Bookfar that we know how important that is.
And we recognize that you are also frontline heroes. You're keeping people out of our hospitals and working hard to keep people safe. So we thank you and salute you as healthcare heroes. Despite the fact you're not in the hospital, you're helping us do our job as well. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. From us to you, thank you for all the hard work you do, and keep it up. This will all end someday, and we'll all get back to normal. Wear a mask.
During the epidemic and everything, we did not lose participants. We actually got them on telehealth, video chats, and conference calls right away, supporting the population. They did a very smooth transition over to telehealth, and we kept on providing the same services that we provided to them if we were in-house. So this took a lot of teamwork, and in a short amount of time, the whole pros team came together. We came up with a plan, we reached out to the participants, and we kind of did the smooth transition over to telehealth and keeping them engaged in the services that they were in. And hopefully going forward, we will continue doing this until they are able to come back in-house.
After I lost my dad to COVID-19, Kay Lanzas has helped me in a way I don't so much to cope with what I'm dealing with. I've losing both of my parents due to my dad died from COVID and my mom died from liver cancer. So basically all the moral support from Kay. We've been in touch on Zoom and here in person as well. So I dedicate everything to the Guidance Center for everything that they have done for me. And I surely appreciate all the help and support that Kay Lanza has put into her time and her work and her patience with me.
With the help from my psychiatrist and my counselors, I was able to do a lot better socially and just have a better outcome on life, a better outlook on life through the groups that they're having here. The Guidance Center Westchester was there for me 100%.
I'm
here working in the Adult Health Home Care Coordination Department, where we service the adult mental health population, those that may be suffering with substance abuse or HIV. We are servicing people through this pandemic. COVID-19 had come out of nowhere, and people are still in need. They still need community resources. They still need to be attached to mental health providers where they can get the services that will help them succeed and do well in the community. We haven't stopped working with people who may need attachment to mental health providers, physical health providers, or community resources.
And it's just good to know that together we thrive.
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 And together we thrive.
Together we thrive.
On behalf of everyone at the Guidance Center of Westchester, or as we like to say, TGCW, I want to thank you all for taking part in our very first virtual gala, though I am sorry about the sushi. Thank you, and a big shout out to our development team, Anne, Rose, Jean, and Rosie, and our development committee, led by Audrey and Sam, for how you figured out how to make tonight's new venue such a success. I often talk about the very special TGCW spirit. It's what makes me so proud to be the CEO. Tonight, I think you were able to get some insight into how powerful that spirit is and what it can achieve. Two things are an important part of that spirit. One is our ongoing dedication towards diversity and inclusion. I know we have all, for very good reason, been hearing those words a lot lately. They are important. For us, they are more than just words. They're the hard and fast principles guiding how we hire staff, build our teams, cultivate leaders, and create an agency where all voices and perspectives are heard and respected. The second is our commitment to putting participants' needs in front of our own, which was paramount as the pandemic struck our communities hard. It is that spirit that kept those who live with addiction from relapse. It's what provided weekly ongoing connections and hope to those with mental health issues so that people did not need the emergency room. It's what kept people safe in their housing and helped parents learn to cope with their own fears so that they could then be strong for their children. It's how we connected people to any kind of help and support that they needed. It's what motivated youth to stay on track with college and career planning. It's what kept staff providing ongoing learning and healthy meals to our young children. During times like these of such stress and anxiety, tonight let's try and turn our attention away from talk of COVID-19, its daily death tolls, job losses, and huge economic turmoil, to ways we can help others, which can actually make it better for each of us. Giving back is also a great way to help TGCW's diverse and talented staff continue to help others have access to resources so that everyone can learn, work, and thrive. If you've already donated, I sincerely thank you. If you haven't, I ask that you do. Now, please, more than ever, together we thrive. Please stay tuned for a listing of our sponsors, our board members, and our programs. Thank you.